So I've always liked binoculars and monoculars, as well as tripods and monopods. They have all sorts of great applications. But I don't like carrying around the bulk. I like traveling light. That's why I sort of prefer monoculars over binoculars. They're half the size. And monopods over tripods, because they're 1/3 the size. Neither are as good as the larger counterparts, but you're carrying a lot less bulk. Ideally, I've always wanted something that would be small enough to fit in a cargo pants pocket. Nothing exists, but I'll show you what I've come up with over the years that gets pretty close. This is a very tiny tripod made by JIS. That may stand for Japan Institute Standards. I'm not entirely sure. The full length is about 8.5 inches. However, you can make an even smaller monopod by using just one of the legs. You can detach it and use this as your monopod. It's not full height though. In fact, that's the problem with these what are called pin pods. They have these kind of flimsy legs. They're not going to hold much weight, but for lightweight monoculars and binoculars, they're no problem at all. This is called a Hakuba HMS-10. It's a pin pod monopod. It doesn't extend to full height, but you can crouch down slightly and use it. What's kind of cool about this is it's not just a monopod, it's also a tripod. So you can put your camera up here and use this as a tripod. Another interesting trick that it does is if you use it as a monopod and you extend this to the ground, you can then lean against a wall so that you can actually have this stand upright at its full height as long as you have a nearby wall or tree to lean against. Here's the black, more stealth version. I've added some gaffer tape to make it a little nicer. Otherwise, it's exactly the same thing as this one. A company called Linhof, back I think in the maybe 60s, 70s, 80s, I'm not sure, was one of the first to invent this mechanism with sort of an internal locking mechanism for their monopods that makes them very clever, very stealth, very compact. And I've disguised this one to make it look like a walking cane. This way I can go through a security checkpoint, say at an airport or a museum where they don't want you to have tripods or monopods, but they don't know that it's a monopod. It looks like it's a cane. In fact, I can extend it to cane length and walk up to the security checkpoint pretending I'm disabled and actually use it as a cane. It can't support full body weight, by the way, but for mimicking, I'm trying to pretend that it's a cane, that it will work. I literally bought a cane. I took the foot from the cane, I attached it to the bottom part of this monopod, and I modified the top. It didn't have this screw mechanism on it. I had to fabricate this by cutting a little wooden dowel, putting it inside, and then putting this 1/4 20 insert into a hole that I drilled and sort of gluing it all together. So when I want to use it as a monopod, I detach this handle thing, and when I want to camouflage this as a cane so that I can sneak into a museum or aircraft or something like that, you just screw it on. I think Monoprice still makes this one, which is pretty similar. It also has a fully locking mechanism without the external clamps. Basically, it's a twist lock mechanism. You extend it to the length that you want, and then you rotate it to tighten it. And this is a true full-size monopod. You can use it to full height while standing up, which is pretty cool. And now the main topic of this video, which is this one. This is a $1 selfie stick. I bought this at the Dollar Tree store. It has a cell phone grabbing mechanism up top, but you can unscrew this and it gets you to the industry standard 1/4 20 screw thread, which is the standard for nearly all cameras, all small cameras. 1/4 inch is the diameter and 20 is the number of threads per inch. So basically what I did is I took my razor knife, my Mac 2 razor knife, I cut off the tip. I then drilled a hole through it down here. This only extends only maybe about 1.5 feet or so. That's actually enough to use this. You want to brace it against your body or put this over your shoulder to act as sort of a stabilizing mechanism. It's meant to be a selfie stick, but another application is by drilling that hole down at the bottom there. I can attach this, which is a ball chain. I then let the ball chain drop to the ground. I step on it, I pull it taut, and this gives me added stability. Now you may be saying, yeah, you talked about that ball chain using it with your monocular in another video. What's the advantage of the selfie stick? And here's the reason why. When you use just a chain by itself and you use it as what's called a reverse monopod, where you step on it and then pull it taut, you can still sort of wiggle around a lot and there's still a lot of rotational play. However, by putting that point of motion a few feet below where you're actually holding the tripod down here, now it's a bit more stable. So for instance, if this moves around a little bit, what's happening up here is still more stable. Anyway, this is now sort of my first monopod that does actually fit inside my cargo pants pocket. So I thought I'd show it off in this video. Here are the monopods next to my door to give you a reference for scale. And there are the little ones on the ground, including the little itty bitty cargo pants size monopod. So there you go. Thanks for watching.